We're going to have an open forum in a few minutes. We're going to have Director Solidum with us and a surprise guest along with the General in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay pa kita? Nagmamata pa, maupay pa naman kumaturugin ng mga oras. Andam natin yung mga questions? Ha? Tayuan na kita, tayuan ay. Tuk daw. Tindog Leyte.
Tindog. Tindog is tayo.
Tayo. Tindog Leyte is tumayo Leyte. Bumangon Leyte. Handa na ba tayong bumangon? Sabay-sabay nating isigaw. Tindog Leyte. Tindog Leyte. Tindog Samar. Tindog Samar. Tindog Southern Leyte. Tindog Southern Leyte.
Hindi talaga niyo papakinggan, no?
Okay, gising na. Ngayon yung mga tanong naman. Kung wala magtatanong, kami mismo ang pupunta sa inyo para magtanong.
Hala.
Mga kabataan, marami tayong kasama na nandito na galing komunidad. Nakakatrabaho nila yung mga militar, yung mga government officials, yung agencies na nasa LGUs. Kaya kung may mga tanong kayo, gusto nyong linawin, nandito sila, pagkakataon na ito, tanungin natin sila, okay? I would like to invite our speakers.
Again, another round of applause for Director Solidum and General Velarmino. We have a special guest on Skype. Is he
Yeah.
ready? We'd like to introduce the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Catapang. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please.
Hello, mo pa yung kulot, General.
Good afternoon, sir.
Salamat po. Yes, good afternoon to Patricia.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we'll throw the first question in your direction. Sa sobra pong madami na po kayo napagdaanan na search and rescue, madaming disaster, ano po yung napulot yung lessons noon na na-apply na nyo ngayon as Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces?
Now, yung mga kapatid, now, gobyerno sa mga kasi nangyayari, yung experience natin sa type it will be our first, our last, and our goodbye. Dahil kasi parating sinasabi na kaya natin.
Yun, nakita naman natin yung mga ni... Paano pala yung... We will redial via Skype pa rin. Via Skype. Paano pala yun? Pasimula pa lang yun.
We're just showing you what we can do.
And-
Ayusin lang namin, ha?
And how he looks. Sinong first time makakita kay General Catapang? First, It's through Skype. Okay.
All right. Can we have our first question for our audience?
While they're redialing, okay?
While we're redialing the General, anyone from the audience? Yes, sir.
Magpakilala po tayo at
Pakilala
saka
lang
kung
po
kanina natin
tayo,
i-address.
pangalan po at saan po kayo nanggaling?
Thank you. I'm Oliver Cam again from the Eastern Visayas and Lady Chambers of Commerce and Industry. This question is directed to Director Solidum because again, we were also using social media as early as 5 days before. We're already monitoring the storm. And again, Pag-asa being the authoritative local agency in terms of forecasting and prediction, we were closely monitoring Pag-asa, but we were also monitoring other international level weather forecasting agencies like Japan Meteorological Agency, JWTC from the US, and especially GDAX, the Global Disaster Alert and Coordination System of the UN agencies. And I noticed 2 days before the storm, there was already a big difference in the wind speed being reported by Pag-asa, our local authoritative agency, and all the international agencies. In fact, I have here the archive of Pag-asa's weather advisory, 5 a.m., November 8. It only reported a maximum sustained wind speed of 265 kilometers per hour. All other international agencies were reporting 370 to 380. That's 100 kilometer per hour. Very big gap and a very big difference in terms of preparation. I'm just wondering, moving forward, what is being done to upgrade the competency and forecasting skills of our Pag-asa weather forecasters, because Pag-asa also had the most accurate storm surge prediction. And guess where it was hidden in their advisory? And I showed it to some of my media friends here. It's on the second to the last paragraph of your advisory. Never could you see it on the front page or on the banner headlines that we have a 7-meter storm surge. It was buried deep within the advisory. So I'm asking, moving forward, what is being done to increase the competency of our national level forecasting team to highlight the most destructive factors in any calamity over and above other considerations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Director?
Hello. Before I answer that, let me put a disclaimer. I'm from FIVOX. I'm not from Pag-asa. Okay? Just to make sure that you understand, Pag-asa follows the World Meteorological Organization's definition of the wind strength. They follow a 10-minute average. US, in particular, follows a 1-minute sustained wind only. Pag-asa follows 10 minutes. So kahit nag-maximum ka ng 300, pero 1 minuto lang yon, i-report yun ng foreign. Pero ang Pag-asa, 10-minute average. Yun po yung difference. I think Pag-asa has been upgrading its monitoring capability, but I have to caution you, different organizations all over the world have different ways of mentioning the wind speed. Likewise, pagdating sa FIVOX, don't compare our magnitude with magnitudes of other organizations because they don't exactly follow that we will have the same magnitude because we use different formula and we use different instrumentation. But when it comes to location of earthquakes, then our location is better. The more important thing for earthquake is the intensity and not the magnitude. So explain ko lang po yun, ano? When you compare one organization to another, you have to look at how they defined that particular number. Tama po kayo sa susunod nyong comment. I pointed that out to Pag-asa as well, that if there is a special hazard that we need to mention, highlight it. Tama po kayo, and we already pointed that out. And DOST and Pag-asa has been planning to have a separate alert or warning scheme for storm surge only. That kind of suggestion is very similar to what we do in earthquake. If there is an earthquake on land, we give you details about the earthquake continuously. But if the earthquake is offshore, once we tell you the magnitude of the earthquake and where it is, we will drop additional information on the earthquake. We will focus first on the tsunami. Okay, so tama po kayo. We need to highlight the more important thing in a separate messaging.
All right, thank you, Director Solidum of PhilBooks, not Pag-asa.
Yeah, General Catapang is back. Perhaps we have a few questions from the floor. Who would like to raise the first question? I see a woman there in red. Can you please introduce yourself and address the question for General Catapang?
Questions for
Yeah.
General Catapang? Yes, ma'am, in orange.
Yeah. While Patricia's... Yeah. General Catapang, would you like to answer the question of Patricia before you were cut off?
Opo, ang greatest experience namin is we treat all typhoons as if they are enemies of the state. and we prepare very meticulously to address each typhoon. Katulad ngayon na we had the Typhoon Mario, and we really prepared to address that typhoon.
Okay, thank you, General Catapang. Would you like to shoot the question?
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Eden Reyes, a member of the Tacloban Media Group. I would like to address my question to the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. What I really experienced during Yolanda while walking around the muddy city of Tacloban is that the looting could have been prevented if only they adhere to the request of our city mayor, Alfred Romualdez, to reinforce the security team. The Philippine National Police here in Tacloban. Sir, what took you so long to send reinforcement to the city of Tacloban, since you already know how we have been affected by Typhoon Yolanda? And what lessons can you learn from there? Because I'm not asking this question to put you into shame, but to learn lessons out of that experience. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. General?
Of course, first of all, we were thinking that as Filipinos, we will not take advantage of the disaster. And we did not expect that there will be looters. Alam nyo naman na yung nahihirapan na yung Pilipino, and then you will add up a problem for looting. So it took us some time to react on this issue. But we anticipate, we recognize that there will be looting. From now on, we expect that there will be looting if there's a typhoon like that strong. And we will be prepared to send in immediately troops to secure yung mga business establishments.
If I may interject, at that time, General Velarmino was steering the troops on the ground. Would you like to add?
Actually, immediately after the storm, 100 troops from my headquarters in Catbalogan City were immediately shipped to Tacloban City. Actually, we were the ones who cleared the area after crossing San Juanico Bridge, going to the command center that was initially established at the Tacloban City Police Station. So with these 100 troops, the priority of work we undertook dito sa Tacloban was to clear first main road nets, like the roads from the airport going to the city center. Because we need to move the supply items, medical supplies, coming in by air. And so most of the troops that were initially deployed with me were utilized for the retrieval and distribution of relief goods. However, nung nag-umpisa yung situation na there was looting, I detached a 30-man team to address. Kaya lang the situation was, everybody was so eager to get a share of mga pagkain. So kahit we gave warning shots, atras lang yung tao, but mob na yun napupunta. So hindi kami we cannot prevent them kasi if we tried to prevent them, baka magkakasakitan lang, masasaktan namin sila, at the same time, masasaktan rin yung troops namin. So anyway, at the initial stage na nagkakaroon ng looting, they were looting for food. Kasi problema natin noon after the typhoon is pagkain. I was here before, during, and after. Nakita ko kung paano yung mga tao nag-survive. So everybody was getting food, but yung succeeding na looting, yun ang hindi ko ma-imagine, that they start getting appliances. So luckily, the Special Action Force from the Philippine National Police came down, Tacloban. So yun po ang tumulong sa amin to relieve my troops in providing security. Una, nagpro-provide pa rin kami ng security sa mga establishment para hindi nila magalaw, especially those gas stations. Pinrovide na namin ng security yan. So with the arrival of the Philippine National Police Special Action Force, na-relieve yung troops ko in providing security, and we concentrated more on the search, rescue, and retrieval operations.
Okay. Patricia, do you have anyone from at your end?
We have a question here from, let's stand up, ma'am. We have a question here from Professor Joyce Alegre.
Hello, good afternoon po. Maraming salamat po sa inyong inilahad sa amin ngayon. Oh, shall I speak in English? Sorry. General Catapang and Major General Velarmino. And thank you also, Director Solidum of the PhilVox. This is a very basic question because we experienced what we went through was really difficult. It was a struggle for survival. Within 24 hours, we feel that it was a failure of at many levels. It was really a systems breakdown at all levels of governance. And we felt that there was nothing coming within 24 hours. One, I'd like to understand what the weaknesses were. Lumilitaw na po na talagang unexpected yun, that's very well taken. That's why nothing was going on. It was not just a matter of our fear of the loss of food. It also had to do with the invisibility of leadership because our leaders were also survivors. So we were hoping for some kind of intervention from outside, and the military has all the resources within 24 hours. So we would like to have probably a more comprehensive explanation how you were shocked also. So we assume now, we don't just assume because it's a real experience. Within 24 hours, there was no intervention in any aspect of order and security and safety. Now, secondly, we would like to know what the systematic approach would be if this happens again in any part of the Philippines. Ano po ang Protocol 1 within 24 hours? Hindi lang po ang food drop, kundi ano po yung framework ng ating military at ganun din po sa ibang bodies which will address disaster, especially at NDRMMC. Thank you.
Thank you,
General, was
ma'am.
the question clear?
Yes, I understand the question.
Okay, would you like to address it first?
Yes, of course. I promise you, under my command, that will not happen again. I am a veteran of various disasters. Nung pumutok yung Taal Volcano in 1965, I already saw the disaster. Pumutok yung Mount Pinatubo, I was already there also. I saw the disaster. Nung nagkaroon ng Undoy, Pimping Ramil, I saw the disaster. So, during my term, I promise you, ma'am, that will not happen. I will be the one personally to supervise all the disasters, all the typhoons that will come in our way. Because ito na po yung bagong gera na harapin natin sa 21st century. This will be a war on climate change. Kaya call to arms po ito. Para po itong gera ng World War II na ito na po yung gera na harapin natin ngayon. It's a World War III war.
General, if you would not mind, thank you for the assurance. In particular, the question was about the approach, one, and two, what particular changes, perhaps in terms of workflows and protocols, have you instituted or you're planning to institute after Yolanda? Lessons learned in particular.
Opo. Dr. Solidum is very particular of the the earthquake that is due in Metro Manila. It's about to happen in any time, and hopefully it will not happen. We pray that it will not happen, but if it does happen, we have already prepared a contingency plan. In fact, we have already prepared our families, the armed forces families are already prepared to react to this type of earthquake, because we were told that initially there will be 30,000 people killed and maybe another 60,000 injured. So when I went, we are now planning for how do you bury 30,000 people who will die in Metro Manila, and how do you react to save about 50 to 60,000 people caught in the building. So we are already preparing for this the Big Bang, so-called. So ito na po yung template natin. We have already a template to follow And ang mangyayari po, yung armed forces po will not be coming, the reinforcement will not be coming from the areas that were already affected. Katulad kung lumindol po dito sa Metro Manila, the Southern Luzon Command and the Northern Luzon Command will be the one who will react. Magre-reinforce po tayo ng about 5,000 soldiers coming from the north and another 5,000 soldiers coming from the south. Now, if Yolanda again happens in Leyte, I think we will react. The Eastern Mindanao Command and the Western Mindanao Command and the SOLCOM or Southern Luzon Command, 3 commands, about 10,000 soldiers will immediately reinforce the division of General Jet Velarmino because he was also likewise overwhelmed by the typhoon. Ito po yung mga protocols na piniprepare natin, and I hope everybody will cooperate because you know, during when Pinatubo erupted, I was the only one who was in control of a town, and I went around telling everybody that I will shoot any looters, but of course I will not do that. But in this case, we will have our people should be prepared for these types of war we will be facing. Kailangan po magtulong-tulong tayo, and of course yung mga looters, yung mga nagpaplano na pag lumindol dito sa Metro Manila, all they want to do is to loot the malls. Ito pong mga malls, no? I even talked to SM that they have to open their malls or else it will be looted by the people because kahit may pera ka at wala ka namang makakain, kahit po may mayaman na tao, they will go to the malls and open the malls and they will start looting everything they see. So, ito po kailangan ng tinatawag natin ng exercise o mga drills na tinatawag natin sa layman so that we will be coordinated. Ang kailangan po dito, magtulong-tulong po tayo, and everybody should be prepared of whatever eventuality will happen in the future.
Okay. Perhaps General Velarmino would like to respond. You were overwhelmed. Were you overwhelmed during that time? Would you like to react?
Actually,
How overwhelmed?
we knew that a strong typhoon is coming in. So we have disaster plans that were already implemented. Actually, the Disaster Response Task Group 8 from the division was already activated days before the landfall of Super Typhoon Yolanda. Actually, we already pre-deployed teams and squads on the areas that the typhoon were to pass through. Meron na po kaming pre-deployed troops. Just in case mag-respond immediately, meron tayong troops on the ground to be the first responder. But Super Typhoon Yolanda is so devastating na yung plano natin hindi kaya. That's why after Yolanda, there was a series of post-Yolanda conferences we had. We had to review the plans, we have to review policies, we have to review guidelines. What are in place in the policies na kailangan enhance natin? What will we do to capacitate more our the military first responder or disaster responders natin? So in preparation for the next typhoons that we anticipate, we have already made some plans like capacitating our responders to training and equipping them so that they can respond effectively sa mga disaster.
Thank you, General. We have 2 other questions from the audience, but before that, Director, would you like to address? How has it changed policy-wise and practice-wise?
I'd like to address the question by looking forward and learn lesson from what happened. If you noticed, General Catapang mentioned about preparedness for Metro Manila, and that is based on scenario. A scenario of a 7.2 and all the effects of an earthquake, including isolation, effects to bridges, lifelines. We have done that and used that as an example, and what I have presented today is just the first phase of what we're trying to do to develop all sorts of scenarios for all different hazards. Kasi po, pag hindi kayo nag-senaryo, if it's general preparedness, your response will not be tested properly. So if there will be another Yolanda, we need to simulate the effect of a typhoon passing by Leyte or other towns and see which areas will be affected and areas that will not be. Those that will not be affected will help, and those that, of course, will be affected should really prepare. I think all of this hope for appropriate responses will only materialize if we have appropriate science-based scenarios, and that we will do. And those scenarios must be understood by everyone.
Okay, thank you, Patricia.
Thank you, General. Do we have any questions from back there?
I hope the question from our colleague
I think let's go from over there.
from the local media
Is there
has
anyone
been
from the
addressed.
local media who wants to ask a question? All right. Local media? Local media, right over there. Yes, sir. Your name and position and publication?
Yes, I'm Mr. Roy Moraleta. I was once the anchor of IBC6 that until now has yet failed to get back to its feet. So I'm also publisher of a local paper, Headlines. And I would like to throw my question to the Major General, and perhaps maybe our General in Manila would consider this question. I would like to ask if there is specific provisions or protocols in the existing Republic Act regarding disaster response and reduction 2010 that were probably hindered you, the armed forces, to act immediately. That or maybe you have failed to really appreciate the extent of the strength of the disaster or the typhoon, that you also failed to really measure the extent of devastation that it will wrought, particularly in Leyte. What were the specific provisions that you have found that hindered you? And if there were provisions, what are your recommendations that would correct all these things?
General, was the question clear? Was the question
Opo,
clear?
right.
Okay. Yeah, would you like to answer? Or would you like me to repeat the
Yeah.
question?
I understand the question very clearly.
Okay.
Tama po si Mr. Publisher, Yusman, na ang pagkakamali natin o ang kulang natin is yung first responder. You know, somebody has to take the lead. And we know the civilians, yung ating civilian leaders are equally affected. That's why ang marching orders ko ngayon is all soldiers will respond immediately. No need from orders coming from higher headquarters. I will invoke the what you call the incident command system. Where there is an incident that occurred, anybody who is in that position or government employee can take charge immediately. So ang order ko ngayon, katulad bawa pumutok yung Mount Mayon, ang order ko kay General Bong Bisaya is take charge, take command of the situation. And then we will open up yung tinatawag namin na with the protocol. Nakausap ko na si General o Admiral Pama, who is the OCD chief. We are putting up the AFP, OCD, HADR Command and Control Center. We will immediately react kasi alam namin hindi makaka-react agad yung civilian authorities. And when the time comes na they are already ready to take over, we will give them the authority or to run the disaster response mechanism. Meron naman po kasi. So kung walang doktor kami. Kung walang engineer kami. Pag dumating na po yung mga doktor, mga engineer, yung mga DPWH, ibibigay namin yung trabaho sa kanila. Yun po ang ngayon ang order ko. Take charge of the situation, put up the incident command system, and when the local chief executives are in a position to take over, they will take over. ang importante makita kagad po yung ating gobyerno na nagre-react katulad ng nangyayari ngayon. We are taking over immediately, and then we will inform the OCD that we are taking command for the meantime in as much as wala pang nagre-react na other government agencies.
General, there was another question. Is the NDRRM law enabling the military to respond quickly, or is it stifling you to move as fast as you were expected to? Or are there particular provisions there that you would like to improve? Have you revisited the law after Yolanda?
Kasi ang AFP po ang lead role in search, rescue, and retrieval. Pero ang kulang dito is the lead role in the emergency response mechanism. Yung magre-react kaagad. Yung wala po, yun ang walang kulang. Anyway, may sunset review yung ating NDRRMC law. By 2000 next year, may sunset review. We can input that provision na immediately it will be the armed forces who can put up the emergency command system para lang may magre-react, kasi yun naman po ang role ng armed forces. Ang role po natin is the protector of the people. Hindi naman po pag sinabi protector of the people in times of emergency, in times of disaster po kasama yan, and in times of calamity. So we will immediately react as part of our job of protecting the people.
One last question from the floor, Patricia.
Oh, one last question. We have Mark from the Department of Education here. Mark is 23 and would like to ask a question of everyone in the panel.
Good afternoon, sirs. My question is, what has been done by your agencies, by the Armed Forces of the Philippines and by DOST, perhaps FIVOX and PAGASA, on making the community informed about the risks of disasters like earthquake and tsunamis and future disasters? Because I very well appreciate your discussion, sir, earlier, but I think it would not be enough if it would just be us who would learn those facts. I think the community, you should also reach out with the community. So my question is, what has been done? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Gentlemen.
Okay, Director.
I'll try this one first. We have done multi-hazards mapping for the region, especially for Leyte, Southern Leyte, Northern Samar, and Eastern Samar. We're finishing up some of the things for the rest. In 2006, I think, or 2007, I was actually opening a week-long or 2-week-long session, supposedly for all the mayors and barangay captains for this province. And we presented the multi-hazards maps and all the possible information, including storm surge, that might affect this area. I think we also need to continue that. Aside from the political leaders, we also focus on teachers. We have seminars on teachers. In fact, for this province and Eastern Samar, we have a special awareness and preparedness tools for earthquake and tsunami. You don't need a PowerPoint, but very big 16-inch posters or storyboards that can be delivered by the teacher. Meron pong storyline at the back of the posters, and which is interactive. And this has been appreciated by many teachers, and we've been going around the Philippines to share these information materials. Marami pa po kaming awareness and preparedness seminars that will be conducted. But I think the issue is, it's not simply us going down, but every organization, whether you're in government or not, should be really interested in developing a program of awareness and preparedness. We cannot do and spoon-feed everyone, but there must be core trainers for each organization. I think that's the best thing to do. Aside from social media, of course, we can share information. Ang kailangan lang natin is, for example, for DepEd, to really have a core of trainers so that you can train the other trainers.
Okay, thank you. On that note, thank you, Director Solidum and General Velarmino. General Catapang, would you like to give your parting shots before we let you go?
Yeah, of course, tama po yung sabi ng isang audience na kailangan talaga bumaba po sa barangay. That's why nung Unified Commander ako dito sa NOLCOM, which includes Central Luzon and Northern Luzon, yung mga governors po, after na manalo sila sa election, And they have a new set of barangay captains. Yung hanggang sa barangay captain po, may seminar on disaster response. Dapat po makababa po yan hanggang sa barangay. Kung yung barangay nyo po, hindi pa po nagkakaroon ng exercise o nagkakaroon ng tulong-pulong o meeting o information drive on how to react in times of disaster, ay nagkukulang po ang inyong mga local chief executives. Kaya kailangan po gagawin ng mga local chief executives nyo to prepare you up to the barangay level on how to react and to face the challenges, the war of the 21st century, which is climate change that responds at super typhoons. Yan na po yung gera na harapin natin. So dapat po every soldier o every individual is like a soldier, prepared to face climate change, prepared to face yung mga super typhoons para hindi po tayo mawa one time and then sinasabi ko nga parati tayong first time and last time. Kaya ang nangyayari sa atin, no, my first, my last, my goodbye. No? So, gawin natin na matuto tayo. Everybody, hanggang napakaliit na bata, alam niya kung anong gagawin during in times of calamities. Salamat po.
Thank you, sir. And hopefully not our last goodbye with General Catapang. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much to General Velarmino and Director Solidum. A final round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, sir, and goodbye. Coffee will be available in the back. We'll be rolling a video while you do.